Okay. So good morning, everybody. Welcome to our next Amazon Q&A roundtable. My name's Daniel. I'm the Communities and Partnerships Manager at GS1 UK. So my role is to look after our membership, which is predominantly SME organizations. So obviously uplift from you guys is that you have a lot of issues with trading on Amazon, getting your listings up and running. So I form partnerships with Kevin, who we have here, to help you guys with those issues and get your products up and trading on Amazon. I'll also let Lorna introduce herself as well.
Yeah, so I'm Lorna Lever, one of the industry engagement managers at GS1 UK, and I sit in the marketplaces team. So between the three of us, we kind of sit in the middle between our members that are trying to trade on the marketplaces, also the marketplaces themselves, and also any partners and solution providers that help with trading on marketplaces. And so we basically bring everybody together and try and resolve any issues. In addition to that, I help with training our members to understand GTINs, everything about barcoding, what they need to do and where they should do that. And so that's why I'm here today. Hopefully we can answer some of your questions.
I suppose briefly about myself, we're an Amazon kind of, all we do is Amazon, so it's called fuelmywebsite.com. We are Amazon, I guess, specialists. I mean, basically we work on Amazon all day long and kind of know what you need to do to get from A to B in order to get to C. Amazon is a changing field, and we do these roundtables like once a month, once every 2 weeks, depending on how busy everybody is. And it's just feel free to throw loads of questions at us. I think that's really all we're looking to do, is we'll answer your questions as quickly and succinctly as possible. And also, if you want to book calls with me, you can do that via the website later on.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. We've got some people that will be here today that have pre-registered questions when they signed up. So we'll certainly crack through all those. And as we go through, if that inspires any more questions, do pop them in the Q&A. And we'll ask Kevin or Lorna to answer them. The way we usually do this is if you have pre-registered a question, we invite you on. You don't have to come on camera, but we invite you to talk, and you can talk through your issue directly with Kevin, and hopefully can answer that for you. So I think maybe we should kick off, and let's see who we got in today. So I know we have a question from Mush Faisal, who is from who is from MJF Business Consultancy, and I believe Mush has a question about putting his brand name in the GS1 account as NA, as he says. This is a sort of brand related question. So Mush, if you are there, I'm gonna just bring you in. Here you are.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi, Mush.
Hello. Was the question about your brand name? Was that right?
Yes, I think it was. Yeah. Can you read out the question? What the question was? Because that was 2 weeks ago when I.
Oh, I can't hear you.
So you're a bit quiet there, Mush. It sounds like the mic might be covered, or that's better.
Yeah, is that better? Okay. I just wanted to find out. Okay. What was the actual question, or what was the question?
No, I think.
No.
So I tell you what I'll do. Mush, I'll read out the question for you. No worries. So he's put down his brand name in the GS1 account as NA, as he doesn't have a brand name yet. So when listing the item on Amazon, it was not accepting NA, saying that there was conflict with GS1 RE, the brand name. So it looks like there's a conflict between what Amazon's accepting and possibly the data behind the GTIN, possibly.
Yeah, so that wouldn't be causing conflict, because what Amazon use our data for at the moment is the company information. So they are looking at the company that your GTINs are licensed to versus the company name that is registered on Amazon. So the Amazon selling account, the name that that's in, and then they're comparing it. The brand name will be separate in terms of understanding what that brand is, whether it exists, whether it's sitting in the brand registry, and whether that selling account is allowed to sell that brand. So it does various different things, but the brand field within GS1 UK in your My GS1 account isn't something that's going to be looked at directly by Amazon at the moment. They're doing some tests, but it's not something that's there. I think the problem that you're more likely to be having is that the brand field in Amazon is they're changing it a lot. So realistically, they don't really want unbranded items. They want you to have a proper brand with brand registry, with a trademark. And if you don't have those things, then you end up having complications. Would you agree with that, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm looking at this correctly, this is something we get all the time. So online, so in the Amazon forums, on YouTube and all this sort of stuff, everyone says, if you haven't got a brand name, use NA. That kind of expired about 6 months ago. There's also a button now saying, I don't have a brand when you're adding your product. You click that and you go straight through. However, if you've got any product, it should really, I mean, I can't think of anything that doesn't have a brand name, to be perfectly honest with you, unless it's like no, I can't think of anything. So if you must have like a company name, and if you have a company name or a logo on your product or anything like that, then use that as a brand name. And simply when you're adding the product, Amazon will say this brand doesn't exist, or this brand blah, 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 blah. Then you just send a picture of your product with the brand on it, and that will open up the brand name for you. There's a big difference between brand name and brand registry. I think we've got a question later on about brand registry, so we'll cover that more then. But is that, where are you at, Mush?
Yes, yeah, okay. You know what Lorna said was right, because I reached out to Amazon and they said that to put in my company name. So I put in the company name and it passed through. It went through, yeah. So thank you for that.
No problem. Thanks for your question.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
Who we got next?
Great. So I think I've just noticed there's a question that might be here for Lorna from John Power, and he works for Happy Bananas. I'm already happy about this one.
That's a great name for a business. I love that.
Isn't it?
Thank you, John.
Let me just bring you on here. So, John, I believe you have a question about changing EANs to GS1 barcodes, I think, or do you want to elaborate?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so basically I started selling on Amazon back in 2018 and was given the advice by Amazon, and as we all know, their advice is not always accurate, to purchase barcodes from a list of various companies to purchase barcodes from. One of them was Barcodes Talk, which I used. The codes worked fine, everything was great, but obviously you pick up more knowledge as you go on. Further down the line, I realized what I should have done is got them direct from GS1. And now when I check the ownership for those codes, it comes up with a company in Florida that no longer exists. I'm not sure the legitimacy of those codes and whether they're generally, there will ever be any problems with them. But my products are quite well established now, reviews are high. I wouldn't want to lose those. So what would be interesting is if I could now change those codes, those EAN codes, across to the GS1 codes that I now have purchased direct.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's a question that I get probably asked at least once a day. We did hear of Amazon recommending various different places to get ones from, despite actually only requiring ones from GS1. But we think we've wheedled out all of the seller agents that were advising that, and they only advise, hopefully, GS1, because people end up getting in a pickle like this for that exact reason. Those numbers that you're using, they were originally licensed to that company in Florida, and then that's the problem. They don't belong to you. That's why getting them from GS1 directly. The problem is that Amazon doesn't really have a way of changing them over at the moment. So I'd love to be able to say, yes, this is a process. And to be honest, I've probably spent the last 2 to 3 years testing out different methods of getting it changed over. I recently had a call from with the team in Seattle, so the duty and authority team at Amazon, who suggested that there is an existing process in that you just raise a case to say to the agent, change my listing EAN from this to this, and then it gets done. I haven't actually had any members tell me that this has been successful yet. So if you want to try it out and let me know how you go on, that would be fabulous. But like I said, I haven't got a guaranteed one. So what I would say is, unless there's a pressing issue in that they've moved the product into, where it says fix my listings and there's an immediate danger, because we did start to see something like last year, then maybe leave it for now. Obviously, is the product that you're likely to perhaps stop selling, and then something else that so basically, is that going to be discontinued or changed in such a way that, because you would need to create a new GTIN from it, or is it something you think it's got longevity?
It should be selling for a long time, yeah, as it is. I mean, the issue with me is so I've registered for brand registry, I've got that accepted, everything's fine. I'm trying to do the right thing here and make it all work as it should. So hopefully Amazon would want to help me out on that.
Yeah, I think we've got a lot of sellers with this issue. The other suggestion that we heard was potentially adding your correct GS1 GTIN to that product as a variation, and effectively running the stock down on the old one with your dodgy number and using the stock on your new one. But again, it's not something that I've seen, tried and tested, so I can't give you a
it's not a bad idea. I mean, I'm trying to also register for transparency, which
you will need the properties in for that,
which is then gonna, I feel like it's gonna come up more, that the issue is a different. So that I actually spoke to the brand registry team, I think in Germany they were, and they suggested to me that if I wanted to do transparency and I needed to change the EAN, to open a case with brand registry team and open a case with seller support at the same time. And then they gave me a really long list of instructions of changing the, how to change the listing by upload, the Excel file upload method. And all sorts of things. So I can forward that on to you if you want, but I haven't done it because it's just like blown my mind. So
that would be really useful to see what they're advising. At least we can pass that on to GTIN authority.
Okay. And one last thing is on the thing of where you said to just open a case to change the product. I have done that. I have actually successfully done that on one product. So what I did was, but that was a slightly different thing. I actually entered the wrong barcode number in initially, and I said I need to change this. The listing was all haywire. So what I did was I uploaded a picture of the product with the EAN correct one on it, so the correct barcode showing, and also the Amazon fulfillment barcode showing. They said they needed to see both of those. I uploaded that, and they changed it for me. So that has actually worked once.
It's interesting because realistically you shouldn't be using two different barcodes on there.
No, obviously, well, no, but one's for the fulfillment by Amazon barcode.
They accept both. You can send your stock into Amazon using your GTIN. You don't have to use the FNSKU.
Okay.
So
is it food you've got, John?
Sorry.
Is it a food-based product?
No, it's not. I think they just wanted to see both together. They didn't necessarily
didn't care which one you were using, sort of thing.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know. I did what they said, and it worked on that occasion. But that was quite a long time ago. That was probably a year or so ago now. So.
I would suggest that you've got to, do you have barcodes actually physically printed on your products generally, John?
That as labels,
Right. If you can make that, the only real way of doing it, because they're stuck on as labels, Amazon will just kind of say, well, look, you're just sticking labels on. If you could print them on, or certainly make it look like they're printed on, then that will be more of a case to send to Amazon, say, look, their barcode numbers have changed. This is a physical product with it printed on. That gives you more of a chance. I think anything stuck on, you're always going to fight a battle because we can all stick something on someone.
Yeah, of course.
And in terms of the spreadsheets they're looking for, it's pretty straightforward. They've released on beta category listing reports under manage inventory. If you pull that off, that has all your products all the data that's on Amazon. So you can, but if you update the EAN, it's going to change anyway. It's going to change the listings. I mean, really, you've got to go through. You're going to have to go through seller support, as Lorna says, really. And I don't see it working really. If you're lucky, which it sounds like you've been, you get someone who just doesn't really care at Amazon. They'll enable the change. But a lot of people just are clicking the responses. They've got what's called canned responses in Amazon support. So they'll just click a button and say, right, here's your response. So they're not actually really reading it.
Okay, well, I'll have another go at seller support possibly. What I don't want to do is create the situation whereby they go, well, wait a minute, you shouldn't be using these barcodes. We're going to close your listing down completely. Is that a possibility?
It's not something I've seen, but it's definitely something that most people say to me that they're worried about.
Yeah.
And I mean, if they do, then you're literally asking them for the resolution to that situation. So if they're going to put it down, you're literally saying, this is my number that it should be. Can you change it over? So, yeah. Okay,
well, it's probably worth a go then. I'll do that, and I'll let you know how I get on, and I'll forward you the email that the brand registry agent.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for your question, John.
We've got quite a few popped up in the chat. I think a couple quick ones if we just want to run through them.
Yeah, I see there's one from Jenny Jones. Should we see if she wants to come on and ask?
Is David Oliver in the asking questions here, Dan? Or there's a few people sat in the
I've just brought Jenny on, I believe. Jenny, can you, are you there? Oh, no, perhaps not.
hold on, just coming in now.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi there. Hi, thanks very much. So a couple of questions. I'm also the anonymous attendee, so I'll start with Kevin if I may. Kevin, do you actually sell on Amazon yourself?
I have done. I haven't got time to anymore.
Running a website like yours, which I've just been having a look at and attempted to sell on Amazon, as sellers we know that it's incredibly busy. It takes a lot of time, and Amazon is a time monster, as we know. So thank you for asking.
That's why we don't sell. We have done, right? So I had a product that was #1 seller in the UK for skincare products about 6-7 years ago. But then we kind of started working with numbers of businesses, and actually running that just became a secondary thing. So, yeah.
And is it just yourself, Kevin, who manages?
Oh, we've gone. Say it again, Jenny.
Is it just yourself are you the only person in the business?
No, I can't hear you, sorry.
It's happened to your microphone. We heard you really clearly a second ago.
Are you the only person in the business? She said, is it just yourself?
No, it's not just me.
All right. Just had a look at your website and just got the impression it was just yourself.
Yeah, it's all right. Have you got any questions about Amazon though, or?
I definitely have, but the reason I'm asking yourself, Kevin, is that I'm an Amazon seller, have been for about 6-7 years. We started off with GS1 and have been with GS1. We knew that was the right way to go. I wasn't aware there were 3 different plans for GS1, so it's something new. In relation to selling on Amazon ourselves, we are #1. We've got about 45 products on Amazon, so we're #1 in a number of categories. And despite 6-ish years of trading on Amazon, there's still things that we're learning every single day. We know how complex Seller Central can be. We know the dashboards, reports, etc. So I'll start with the barcode question, if I may. One of the questions that we're actually trainers as well. We were asked to deliver training alongside our selling company. So one of the questions that we get asked is that how does the barcode scenario work when you're looking at kind of mingling with other products? Because we have our own brand, so we sell our own branded products, etc. But one of the questions that comes up is that do you still need a barcode, for example, if that product is already being sold on Amazon?
No, if it's already sold on Amazon, you click on when you add a product via. So you go to add inventory, you go add a product, and you don't use a spreadsheet, and then you search for the product on Amazon, and then you sell that product in the search. So you don't actually add it from scratch; you just sell that same product.
Yeah, the way that Amazon set up is that there's two elements to when you order something. So basically there's the product piece and there's the offer. So if you're the first person to list that product, you have to do all of the product data with it. And obviously with that is the identifier for it, which is the barcode number. And then once that's already established on there, if you're just selling that product, you just add your offer, and that is your delivery terms and your price. And then obviously any of the trust that comes with
and your scoop and your SKU. And you have to add your SKU.
So if you're selling someone else's product, that barcode number should already be on that product, and you would just use that. So even if you were the first person listing it, you use that number, you don't give it your own. Obviously it's the brand or the brand / the manufacturer, it's their responsibility to give it the product identifier rather than resellers, because the point of it is that this is one product, that's it. If you end up relabeling it, it would get very confusing.
Yeah, and also now when you're adding a product, if you add a product via add a product, the Amazon AI will say, is this your product? As soon as you start building it. So they
based
all
on the product data. Yeah.
There should only have to be one barcode for one product.
Yeah. Was your second question talking about commingling?
It was, but I think I'll be okay with that one. I'm not overly concerned with that one. Labels. So Amazon have strict guidelines in relation to barcodes, labels, the longevity. They must not be smudge. They must be smudge proof, for example. Any kind of guidelines in relation to that from yourselves?
Obviously, it depends on the type of material that you're printing on. We do have guidelines around sizes that gives best sort of scannability, and we can do verification for you as a service. That's no problem. But so what we normally say is there's different barcodes for different use cases. So an EAN 13 barcode, which is the one that you would normally see on a product, that's typically done for like nice material or things like this, film. But then we've got ones where we've got cases, so like the cartons, the boxes that you would send into the warehouse. Sometimes people sell it as the carton itself, so like a pack of 10, something like that. It's not always just the singles that are sold on Amazon, but those are typically printed onto like corrugated cardboard. So what we say is to use an ITF 14 barcode for that. And basically it's just a bigger version of this barcode, but it's in doing that, it means that it's able to be printed onto lower quality materials without ruining the scannability of it. So I think it depends on the type of material that you're printing on and also the type of printer that you're using. But obviously if a barcode doesn't scan, then it doesn't work. So making sure that that's correct before you do some big print runs of inventory is definitely key. So it's well worth them speaking to us and we can have a quick look at it. But as a sort of rule of thumb, an EAN 13 is the one that you put your single GTIN into. An ITF 14 is that you would put a GTIN 14 for your cases into. If anybody is selling a medical device or something into the NHS, then you would probably need a GS1128 barcode. But we've got guides and stuff, so if there's any queries for any of that, please let us know. Just to make it a little bit more complicated is that Amazon also have their own set of proprietary barcodes, so barcodes that will only work with Amazon. So obviously we're not the experts on that because we want to make sure that the barcodes we tell you to use can work with any of your retailers, anyone that you sell through. So that's the beauty of GS1, it works with everybody. But Amazon have their own, as always, so they call that the FN SKU. But the way that works is slightly different in that it's an identifier for the product and the seller at the same time. So it might be an option for you if you're only selling on Amazon and you only intend to sell on Amazon, then an FN SKU might be the way that you want to go. But if you're looking to expand that, and obviously when you send that into a different retailer, you won't be able to use the FN SKU. So getting prepped and using your GTIN in an EAN 13 barcode means that you're ready for any channel without having to say, okay, this lot over here is ready for Amazon, but I can't send that anywhere else. That stock is stuck unless you relabel it.
Yeah, and it's worth just to add to that about whether you're looking to sell into other markets. I think Amazon is only in somewhere, it's 12 or 13 countries, I think Amazon, isn't it? It's not in quite as many countries as you think. So there's a lot of coverage that Amazon doesn't cover. So there's other marketplaces like Frugo and OnBuy, and they do require GS1 UK barcodes. So if you ever look at expanding into a country where Amazon isn't present, you will need that barcode anyway. So guessing that now does protect you if you need to expand in the future.
Yeah, quite a lot. Actually, we were at a Walmart event last week where they require GS1 GTINs, and they've just expanded for UK sellers. And also we got an update that TikTok, so any of you trying out TikTok shops, they require GS1 GTINs. So you're once and done. Once you've got them, you're sorted. So it makes sense if you're going to expand outside of Amazon to use your GS1 barcode rather than an FSQ.
Of the session, one for yourself, Kevin, in relation to stock ordering, do you have?
Oh, can't really hear you.
Sorry,
Is it just me?
yeah, Jenny, could you say it again? Sorry.
Stock ordering,
Stock ordering.
managing stock.
Yeah.
Not just sending it in to Amazon, not managing the inventory, but more in relation to from suppliers. Now, one of the challenges that we have at the moment is our sales have tripled, quadrupled this year. So we have a percentage that we're attempting to order by, so etc. But we're just so close to running out, basically. And we just don't quite know how to manage that without having quadruple amounts of what we're selling already as stock in our warehouses.
So do you sell purely on Amazon, Jenny?
Yes.
Right, okay. I think I'll need to talk to you on the phone really or something. I can't really, okay. The connection's not that clear, to be perfectly honest.
Jenny, we'll follow up after this with a recording and all our contact details and everything. Kevin very kindly offers a triage to all GS1 members, so you can certainly pick this up after the session.
It might just be easier, I think, on the phone because it's kind of dipping in and out, Jenny. I'm sorry.
No problem. Okay, thank you.
That'd be great.
No worries. Thanks, Jenny. Great. So I think we've got is there anyone, Kevin, that you've seen? I see we've got a question from Derek Donovan in the Q&A.
Should I use a different barcode for each language version of the same product? Different barcode. Hey, Derek, do you want to come on and ask the question? I think I might need to confirm it.
Yeah. So, Derek, you should be able to unmute now, and you can have a chat with Kevin.
Hi there.
That one's probably for me, to be honest.
Or Lorna, of course.
Good. I've enjoyed this week.
Yeah, you've got an easy ride, Kevin. Hello, Derek. So you're selling to different countries with.
That's the intention. So we print instructions, for argument's sake, in English.
Yeah.
That's okay for English-speaking countries. But if we want to use something like Frugo, 46 countries, should we have a barcode for each? Because each product might have a different language set inside, or even at the front of the box. So it's the same product, it's just different language.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we get asked that question a lot. Realistically, if it's the same products, then it's just a barcode, and obviously that's a lot easier for you to manage. But the instructions is obviously always a consideration, and actually utilising our digital link would be a good way of getting around that. So basically what that means is putting a 2D barcode, so a QR code, something like that, on your product as well. And then that enables you to surface lots of different.
Right. So basically put a different QR code on the front of the product for the language.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So you'd be able to, so we're seeing it used quite a lot within like healthcare for that exact reason. So the instructions of using medicine, obviously the bits of paper that go inside that is very wasteful, but yeah. The scan of the barcode that's got the GTIN embedded in it, it means that you can almost surface various different, so your instructions in every different language, and then the person can choose which language it is that they want to see. And that means you've got it in one barcode, don't need to change it. But it's probably one that we can discuss offline. So if I drop you an email.
Yeah, please. I mean, because it's something I'm looking at the moment, because one of the things I found when I was selling in Germany, for instance, if you have a physical product, they want to see actual physical instructions. So, you know, it's different legislation all over the place. So, you know, if I'd love to just be able to supply everything online, here's the rules, you know, pick it in English, Portuguese, whatever you want. But it's about actual, you know, unique legislation. So it's like meeting those unique jurisdictional.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you've got something that you have to do something different for meet regulation, then those situations would require a new number, because because then you would need to be able to say, these are the ones that are specific for that and meet that regulation. But where you don't have that, obviously being able to use it under one barcode is going to be the easiest option.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you for that.
No worries. Cool.
I mean, and that's quite interesting, because with that in mind, there is a new regulation coming out at the end of this year with Italy and the requirements for recycling and having. So if you guys sell to Italy, I would certainly look online at the new requirements by the end of this year. I believe there is a fix coming from GS1 on that. So.
Yeah, that one's slightly different because it's more, they show it digitally, don't they? There's
Regulations, yeah.
So they wouldn't realistically need a new GTIN for that. They
No,
would just
that's
that as digital content.
yeah, CD.
Have we got any more?
Yeah, please. Any questions you guys have got, do pop them in the chat or the Q&A. I'm just seeing if we could answer some of the pre-registered ones, perhaps.
I can see Delphi's in there. Delphi asked a question about obtaining approval to sell beer on Amazon. That is, Delphi, would you like to come in? Hello, you can talk.
Yeah, basically we are brewing, we're trying to sell craft beer on Amazon, so we've listed as Amazon seller and we've done the brand registry. Before I can even get to uploading the products, we need to obviously get approval to sell alcohol. And like you said earlier, Kevin, is you request approval, but then they deny it, and then they say they didn't pass their review. However, if I ask what didn't pass, because we have the necessary licenses, they just send back the same template answer every time, even if I send it to our account managers. So I just don't know what's wrong or what we need to do.
Have you, I mean, so alcohol is probably the hardest category on Amazon to get opened. We've done it a number of times. And the first thing is you need to have a personal license and a premises license in the same name as the company you've registered on Amazon. So everything has to match up. So where I've seen issues before is if your premises license is, say, bonded warehouse or something like that, that's where it can be a bit of an issue.
No, it's definitely in the same name and the same warehouse. The same address matches to what we've uploaded to, obviously, our account. I mean, personal license, it would be my license, it would be me, it won't be the business, so that can't be.
Yeah, and you're on the account, right, as a user?
Yes.
Your full name and fully verified, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so that with that then, if you read their response, there'll be something really almost like you don't notice within that response that is actually asking a question, but it's so hidden away. I'm happy to help you with that. If you send, if afterwards, if Daniel can introduce us, I will. And if you send forward me that email, I'll see if because I've got a few of those through in the past. They are quite.
Okay, that'd be great. Thanks.
And you know, I mean, and there's also something else to remember is in the UK with Amazon, certainly with alcohol, there's one person in the legal department that signs it off. If they go on holiday, it just backs up and backs up and backs up. Yeah. So it's quite a tricky one, but no, definitely. If you could send that over to me, I'll have a look and see if it matches the stuff we've had before, and I can send you how we've got through it.
Okay, great, thanks. And actually, I have a second question. I think it's sort of been answered by Lorna. It's once we get there, obviously we want to sell packs of beer, so we've got our GTINs per individual product. So do I need then, if I sell 12 or 24, would those be two different barcodes again that we have to register? Item 14s, you said, right?
Yes, if you're selling it as a single, but you're also selling it as a it would need two different numbers, because they're tradable entities in its own right.
We won't be selling it as singles. We'll only be selling it as packs, though. So, but yeah, still need to item 14.
Yeah, whatever you choose to sell something as itself. If it's only 24, then just the pack of 24 needs one barcode.
Okay.
But if you're at some point you want to sell it as singles, then the singles would need one. If you only sell it as a 10, the 10 needs one. So whatever your trade item is, physically purchase, then it can that needs its own number. But obviously you can do multiple ones of them, but each new trade item needs its own number.
Okay, so if I do like a mixed case and in one case of the same, there would still be two different tradable items then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the easiest way to think of it is when you're selling anything on Amazon, everything needs to have an SKU. So the SKU is what you use to list against your barcode. or your
It's an internal identifier.
your stock keeping unit. Stock keeping units, that's it. And so in order to list the product, it has to have a unique SKU. So the SKU, so that you, for example, you'd have discovery as your SKU for the pack of 4, let's say. But the easiest way to see how barcodes work in action is go to any superstore, or a superstore, that's really clever, any grocery store. If you look at the SRPs, the shelf-ready packs, you'll see they've got a different barcode. If you spin around, I mean, feel free to do it in Tesco's, they won't mind. Spin the box around, look at the back, it'll have a different barcode to the individual package. So because the back barcode is saying it's a pack of 10 or whatever.
Okay, perfect, great, thank you.
Pleasure.
And I think we got a similar question to the one answered earlier about swapping old codes over into the GS1 codes from Jim Bracken. He said he's got many earlier listings from 2012 that don't have GS1 GTINs. Can these be updated? So I think that's, as you was saying earlier about, you could possibly, there's a couple of different ways that aren't quite tested yet to possibly do that.
Yeah, I think with those ones where they don't have a GTIN on there, then in theory it should be easier because you haven't got complications of existing stocks sitting in the warehouse with the old number on it. So in theory they should be able to just drop it in, but I would do it through the method that Amazon are advising me, and that you raise a case and say, please can you add this GTIN, obviously make sure it's a GS1 GTIN, onto this listing. But I would love some feedback to see how successful it's been, any transcripts you get from Amazon seller support, so that I can build up evidence just to see if it is working or isn't working.
Yeah, there's other questions actually. So I've got Chad Francis is talking about alcohol as well. Don't have a premises license, but you are partnered with, so you're going to sell your alcohol through an Amazon seller, that's fine. How do they go about registering our brand? So what you need to do is get them images of your product. And when I say images of the product, real images. So get the actual pack in your hand, take a picture of it in your hand, so back, so they can clearly see the barcode, and the front, take a photograph so you can see the barcode and the front of the pack, or the bottle, sorry, and see your hand. Send that to the seller. Get the seller to add the product using your brand name on the package. When it fails, they can then upload the images in order to open the brand name within Amazon. That's the best way of doing it if you haven't got a trademark. If you have got a trademark, you can set up a brand registry account on Amazon. So if you Google brand registry UK, then set up your Amazon brand registry account, log your trademark on there. Once that's agreed, you can then add the seller to your brand registry account, and that will then link the two together. It's painful. It can take at least 2 to 3 weeks just to get those links, and you need a lot of chasing, but that's another way of doing it. Any other questions? Daniel Carr, we've answered Daniel Carr's question. Exclusive products with unique so you can't talk with his mic, so that's fine. Can we list them on FBA? Just to register a brand name. So I need to kind of explain this again more clearly for everyone. There's 2 sides to Amazon when it comes to brand. You've got brand registry, which is specifically about your trademark. So that opens up the ability to build a store, and what's called A+ content. So that's when you scroll down a page, you see loads of bigger images about the product. That's A+ content. And the store, when you're looking at any product on Amazon, you'll see it says visit the store. So that's all about the trademark. You can't do any of this unless you've got a trademark registered, or now, by the way, pending. You can do it now if your trademark's pending. But if we're talking about brand name, so to list the product, so let's say, I don't know, Kevin's chocolate is my brand name and I haven't got a trademark. When I'm listing it on Amazon, I need to prove that Kevin's chocolate is on the package. So what I'm doing is opening the ability to list the product with the brand name, not the trademark. And that's just to show that when you look at the product, it will say Kevin's chocolate as a brand name. So you can do it. You just need to, it said you had no problems listing products last year, you're having difficulty now. It's because they're doing it. They're checking for brand names now. So I would say the best thing to do is try and add it, wait for it to fail, and then send them your photographs of your products. I can send a link. I'll put a link in the Q&A in a second. I'll type an answer in the Q&A with a way of doing it.
Great, good stuff. I'm just wondering if we maybe do some of the pre-registered questions for those people that maybe haven't been able to make it today. So let's see what we have. There's a question about skincare products, which was originally from Steph Kelby from Pure Savvy. She asks, do I really need additional barcodes on top of GS1 UK ones for skincare products on Amazon? So I don't know if you've got any thoughts on that, Kevin or Lorna.
It depends on your account. If you look, oh, she's not here, is she? I suppose.
Yeah, she's not here. I just thought.
Right. Okay.
The pre-registered ones.
If you go on to Seller Central, top right-hand corner settings, then look at FBA settings. It will, as you scroll down the page, about halfway down, it will say barcode, Amazon or original barcodes. If it's set for Amazon, it will be Amazon only barcodes required. If you want to change that, you're going to need to basically delete the products off and then re-add them. Sounds scary, it's not. Basically get that category listing report. So go to manage inventory reports, category listing report, download that. That's all of your data. Then delete all your products, wait 24 hours, and then upload that via inventory. Add file via products via upload that category listing report straight away. In the meantime, switch your, this is like really Martin Lewis style speed, sorry. If you're not following me, basically you can change the barcode settings at any time. It just means you're going to need to delete the products off and then add them back on again once you're out of stock. It's not scary, you don't lose reviews, you don't lose any traction.
But that's not something I've heard of in skincare. So is that like food where they only allow you to have an FNSKU? I've not heard that.
Not always, no. I mean, it probably is account settings. When you're setting up, they may have clicked the wrong button. But also you can, like with some food, you can actually do it with manufacturers' barcodes too.
Yeah.
And there's also these things called co-mingling where you need to have barcodes from Amazon. If you've got expiry dates, typically you need to have Amazon barcode. But that's not always true either. Like it's one of those. It's quite a kind of a funny space. So with food, Amazon assumes you're going to put their barcodes on, but I've got loads of clients that don't require it. They've got exemption. So yeah, just check your settings. Top right hand side settings, FBA settings.
Perfect.
What other questions?
About 10 minutes. What we got left?
Anything else that we can help anyone with? Otherwise, we've got some other pre-registered questions. People might not be here, but they'll all get the recording afterwards. So we could do a few of those maybe.
I think a useful one is how do I list products under small and light? There are a lot of products qualify as that. People don't realise.
Small and light, that's a great one. So small and light is only relevant for products up to £9 RRP. Any more than that doesn't qualify for small and light. Small and light by nature is based
£9 in money, not weight.
Pounds in money, yeah. So who knew?
And it's about light, not expensive.
And that is, I get a lot of pushback on this, but it's not my fault. So small and light is basically products up to, I think it's 400 grams in weight. They've got now about 7 different tiers of, so basically small and light is if your product's light and it's small and under £9, the FBA fee is really cheap. So for example, if it's like, I don't know, like if you're sending out a business card and it's like under 80 grams and it's really flat, it's going to cost you 62p FBA. To register for small and light, there is a link. Anyone interested in small and light, please email me and I'll send you the link directly to list the products. You literally open the page up, drop your SKU in, not ASIN, not FNKSKU, to your own SKU. Click a button, it moves over to another side and says if it's available for small and light or not. And then within 20 minutes, you'll see your FBA fee go down dramatically. This is really, really important if you're selling things like single bags of snacks or just light stuff that can basically fit in a jiffy bag. Although they do have boxes now, as long as it's under 400 grams.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's a really interesting one, actually, small and light.
Yeah. I think this one, I mean, it's probably got 1,000,001 answers, so we'll just test you a bit, Kevin, here. I think it's useful for anybody. What is the best way to promote product visibility? Some of mine do not show up in the Amazon search results, even with the exact product name as the search term. That's interesting.
That could be one of many things. Firstly, it could be that the product's just too new on Amazon. Like it can take sometimes weeks, all right, to get found. could be the keywords in the back end. If you're searching for your actual product title and you can't find it anywhere, the easiest way is to put the ASIN number. So get the ASIN number from Seller Central, go into Amazon search, put the ASIN number, use the plus button, so shift plus above your equals on your keyboard, and then put your keywords the other side of that plus. There's a space between the two, ASIN plus keywords. Then click search. If it brings a search result up to your product, that keyword's working. So it might just be that it's like on page 520 as opposed to the first page. If it shows if it's visible doing that, and you still can't see it on the page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., etc., then go into Seller Central in the back end. Why is my product listing not showing? Click on that. It might be an issue with, quite often it's item type number name, which is missing, which is something new they asked for last year. Although there is no item type name on any list in the UK, you have to basically find a USA spreadsheet to get that item type name. Who knew?
What do you mean by item type name? So category, effectively?
No, like it could. So if you're selling, I don't know, right? I'm selling this product here, right? So these are dragon fruit rolls. My item type name might be dragon fruit rolls, but it's not, because it actually would be like, I don't know, dried fruit snack.
Right.
But
Kind of
there's
like a category or
A
something.
descriptor, basically.
yeah, but it has to kind of match Amazon's, but Amazon in the UK won't tell you what it is because they don't have it in the UK, but the system thinks they've got it. So you have to go to the USA. It's
Well, that
tricky.
sounds fun. Yeah, that's a good. I've learned stuff today. Thank you.
Do you know this is why Amazon's such fun, fellas? You've got to be doing it all day, every day to understand. Yeah, so it looks like we had a lot of questions about changing old GTINs to new GTINs. That seems, I mean, I think for anyone looking to do that, I mean, as Lorna said, unless you're being pressed, I'd sit tight for a minute while because I think Lorna and the team there will get a fix for that.
Yeah, we're pushing hard on them for sure. We pretty much bring it up every time we speak to them, but I think the problem that they've got is obviously Amazon like things that have tools that are nicely scalable for millions and millions of listings. So unless they've got that nailed, they're not going to give us anything. But as soon as we have something, believe me, I'll be shouting from every social media channel you can think of.
Yeah. At the moment, it's like, if you do it, you are risking really losing or flagging to Amazon that you have got old barcodes, let's say. Chad's asked a quick question. If we had mono cartons to fit our spirit bottle, can we use the same barcode that's on the label of the individual boxes? So basically, yeah, if you've got a single spirit bottle and a box for that single spirit bottle, it's the same barcode label.
Yeah, the packaging. Really. Yeah.
But if it's in a box of 6, it's a different barcode on the box of 6.
Yeah.
So we've got a few minutes left. If anyone else has any last questions, do get them in now. But as I said, there will be a recording of this sent around afterwards, and along with all our contact details. So you can follow up afterwards, and we'll also be running another session in a month's time as well. So it'd be great that if you guys can come back. Any advice that Kevin and Lorna have given you, we'd love to hear how you've got on successfully, I hope. But yeah, any follow-up questions, then you can always come back in a month's time as well. We've got another question there in the Q&A from Daniel Carl.
Yeah, you can list a product on FBA. So FBA is the red herring here. The question is, can you list a product on Amazon? Yes. With or without registered trademark? Yes. FBA don't care about that. That's just a shipping thing. So to get the product on Amazon, doesn't matter if it's FBA or FBN, it just needs to have the brand name approved. By that, again, taking a picture of the product with your hand inside, showing the brand name, uploading that. Again, I can send the link, Daniel, to that. So it is quite straightforward. And then they'll just approve the brand name. It's not giving you access to stores and stuff like that, but it just enables you to sell your exclusive product on FBA.
Great. Well, I don't know if we don't have any more questions coming in. We're going to give everyone a few minutes of their day back, possibly.
Go and enjoy that lovely rain. Or
that's it. Yeah, just stopped here for a few minutes, but great. Well, listen, thank you everyone for joining. I hope we've managed to help you out with your you know, all your questions and any issues you're having at the moment. As I said, do come back in a month's time. You'll get everyone's contact details as a follow-up to this session. And yeah, anyone else that you know that's having issues with selling on Amazon, they don't necessarily have to be GS1 UK members, although we hope they are. But do send them this way, and we can help them too. So yeah, great. Well, thanks for joining, everyone, and we'll catch you in a month's time.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Yeah.